Peace. Welcome to the Real HD Show, the higher discussion. I'm your host, the Victorious One, tapping in with you on a Wednesday. This is a one more again show. Last week didn't live up to our expectations, so we are back here for more. Got more in store. We are here for this tonight. That's right. Ozempic is like Sinners on Black Melanin Magic. That's right. You saw it there loud and clear in your ear or in your eyeballs. Not retinopathy, but right in your third eye circuits. You heard it, the Real HD Show. Um, but before that, we got some things to do. We want you to like, share, subscribe. We want you to turn on all your notifications and share the ish out this show. It's very important to me. I put a lot of detail and research into this show. I feel like I'm back teaching chemistry again. So I'm really excited about bringing this to you because I think it will mean a lot for so many to have this awareness so that they can move fearless, courtesy of the Real HD Show. So do that thing. And if you want to join the show, how can you do that? Well, you can do it by putting this URL in your address bar above, and you too can join the show in that very way. Let me just take the ticker off so you can see it in definitely. And there we go. StreamYard.com X5 BT CG PG, excuse me, CEEK. And you can look at it again. X5 BT PG CEEK. You put that in your address bar above, and you can come on and rock out with me. Throw your opinion around, make a whole loud sound, stomp, hoop, holler. Hopefully, give some intelligent dialogue. Make it a higher discussion by hitting that button. So we'll leave that on the screen for a minute in our opening segment, because our opening segment is even going to be different for tonight too. So we have a different type of show and we have a different type of opening segment. So normally I would thank our sponsors like Total Package Energy, Bats Footwear, and Redeem Vacations. Please go support those brands. They are really good. They're made for you. One is shoes, which is Bats. The other is Vacations and Respite, which is uh, Redeem Vacations, and then the other one is Total Package Energy, which is a mineral supplement made just for you. So to do that and to get in touch with the show, I want you to click on here and you can tap in and join us and get involved in this crucial conversation, because I think a lot of us are being led astray, bamboozled, hoodwinked. I think we're all going in some directions that for in a voluntary way for convenience and comfort, and we're really not paying attention to the macro messaging. And I think when we're in the wilderness of North America and we're dealing with all of the things that we deal with here as a people, because we don't have a lot of agency in many areas, we tend to think that the most convenient way to solve our problems is to involve ourselves in the effigy of the dominant population, and I guess the ebbs and flows, the comings and goings, the unique problems that they bring on themselves. We're gonna volunteer to become part of that, which is silly and a half, because we don't have to, because we come from a rich tapestry of original people on the planet Earth that afford us talents, abilities, and brain cells to problem solve and get ourselves correct. And one more again, this picture that just won Best Screenplay of the Year and Best Actor of the Year in the Oscars, if you think that's special, I think the ancestors provided a message for us with that. Heard my son in his studio, he hezzy chanting this evening. He making music, but he in there sound like he hezzy chanting. He trying to move electricity, to move 4-ton blocks to create all types of you know spiritual edifices. So we're going to attempt to do just the same this evening. And if all cooperates, we'll have a robust panel on for you in a moment as they slowly join. But what we want to get into first is we usually get into our segments. We usually get into our Lit City Report, and then we usually get into our Stolen Legacy Moment, and then we usually get into our AAT report, and then we usually get into after our AAT report, we usually get into our what's the other one? Oh, we started off with our elders and ancestors. But tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to do something a bit different. I'm going to show you a video and parts of a video that kind of, you know, will resonate with some things that are going on right now in our world, our nation, our society. And I was thinking, now that ICE is in the airports, ICE officers, they're in the airports making it, super inconvenient for people to travel and all the rest of it. And we have war going on overseas. World War III intimately is what it looks like between the United States, Israel, and Iran. It's just a matter of time before some of the other more blatant countries get involved. Some of the NATO countries, some of the I'll just say it. Some of the BRICS or the access countries get involved. We're living in some perilous times, and they may times and things do change. They do rearrange, and they do come out with some outcomes that could be kind of strange. And it's been like that for quite a while. I think throughout the 90s all the way up into the 2000s, every couple of years we have these kind of societal breaking moments. I remember Y2K. I remember the grid going down in the 90s. I remember so many different things, the riots, Amadou Diallo, and man, so many things. Now you would think that because these things have been here before, that the government auspices and the ruling auspices would have ways of dealing with these things. And time again, they show you that they do not. And what are you supposed to do as a, progressive person? You're supposed to sit there and just take it? Or can you be creative, be prepared, and handle things on your own accord? Okay. I'm my bag on the notification. We're not doing that tonight. We're doing that tonight. Okay, great. So we're back in. We're locked in. If you want to communicate with the show, you want to jump in, you want to leave a comment, please do, please do, please do. Come true. Okay. So back to what I was saying. So I was thinking, I think very deeply, right? So I was thinking very deeply about all of these societal interruptions that we've been having over the last 25 to 30 years. Every seems like every other year. Then, we had Katrina and had the devastation of that. Then we'll have more power grids going out. And even up to now, we had COVID, and then we had the floods and the floods and the swamping of North Carolina, and what the government's response to is that, which was sure, right? And mostly sure, right? And then they expect you to give your tax dollars willingly, freely, and to kind of accept what they give you in terms of a solution. And a lot of times it's not a solution, it's just a compromise for you versus things that you are used to, or a lifestyle that you want to try to defend or protect or incorporate or even progress for that matter, right? And so, and now of course we're dealing with, after COVID, we're dealing now with the atrocities that are going on worldwide. Of course, we had the Ukraine war. Now we're dealing with the war in Iran, Gaza. All this stuff is happening. We're hearing that, ICE is running around acting like the Gestapo of the United States. And all of these things make one want to protect what is theirs, protect their investment, protect and be prepared for things that can, and based on the last 25 years, and let me know if I missed a happening in the last 25 years. If I have, please jump on and let us know what catastrophe or atrocity that I missed. But it's just more proof that we need to be more prepared, more reticent, more we need more stewardship of how we are protecting what is ours, our family, our homes, our lifestyles, our right to, at least that's what they tell us, right? Our right to be progressive in this country, right? So I found some videos, right? So first of all, everybody should have a bug out bag, right? A bug out bag is absolutely necessary. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to mash up, smash up all of those different segments. We're going to AAT report, health, wealth. We're going to mash up, smash up the uh, ancestors blueprint, and we're going to also mash up and smash up the lit city report. Now I can do all of those things, and I have news idioms and things that we can talk about. Now, if you want to talk about something individually, please jump on and we can run it through the paces. You know what I'm saying? Run like that new De La Soul song. If you don't know that, go check that out. De La Soul Nas, they put that song down. Go check out Run. But we're gonna run through and we're gonna mash up, smash up all of those things. And we're gonna talk about some preparedness efforts that you can do to be better uh, and more readied in case something pops off near you. We just had that big snow on the Northeast, right? That swallowed up like, you know, almost 8 states in one big ass snowfall. And I was in the middle of it. I was stuck in New York City. Had to take off 2 days. Me and the wife had to, I was in a safe place with family, but we were stuck. And for a place that's used to snow, to be stuck means you're in a conundrum. Means that you weren't really prepared for what was going on. And mainly the preparedness and the readiness has to happen within the home because that's mainly the thing that you want to protect and assert your responsibility and readiness towards, right? So there's these 7 pillars of preparedness that I wanted to talk about. Very, very important, right? So the 7 pillars of preparedness, right, are water. Do you have enough of that? Food. Have you amounted enough of that? Energy. Do you have a source for that? Medicine. Can you amount that? Can you secure that in a timely fashion for yourself and for your loved ones? Security, community, and evacuation. Now, we don't really think about these things until we absolutely need them. But with the catastrophes and the atrocities of the last 30 years, can you say that we shouldn't have a real conversation about this, especially as melanated Black people living in the United States? Talk to me. Somebody talk Black to me. Somebody talk original to me. Somebody talk native engine to me, because I think we do. We don't have enough of this going on. We're not hardly prepared with these things enough. I know I'm not, but the reason why I put this chart up is that this chart is like a litmus test, right? So when you look at each area, you should be scoring yourself. You know what I mean? You should be scoring yourself on a 1 to 10 chart or 1 to 8 chart. Where am I at with water? Where am I at with water? Can I procure water? Can I manufacture it when I need it in case of an emergency? Food. Where am I at with food? Would I have to Uber eat or DoorDash when the power is down? Do I have food in my refrigerator right now? Would it spoil? How would I keep my food fresh? Or do I have food rations or anything of the sort? Energy. How would I produce the power that I need if we go off the grid, or if there's a digital emergency and I can't use my credit card to get the energy that I need, or the you know, if I can't pay for the energy that I need, like I'm used to with my, utility company, how do I get that energy? Do you have a generator that will last you for about 72 hours to avert a catastrophe? Medicine. What about medicine? What if somebody gets deathly ill? Do you live below or above the 32nd parallel in the country where the freezing mark is? Where, in other words, if you live above the 32nd parallel, that means that your main issue is are you going to freeze to death during the 7 months of winter or the 6 months of winter, depending on where you at. And if you're below the 32nd parallel, your problem is heat. How can you cool off or sustain an area that will ultimately get overheated, overwrought, and leave you, dehydrated and in need, right? And of course, medicine. Medicine, can I, you know, do I have pills I need to take? Am I diabetic? Do I have cancer? Do I have, uh, you know, do I have COPD? What do I need to take to, sustain my health? And then you got security. Wow, security. We don't think about this until we need it. So if the grid goes down and police aren't able to, activate and come to your house in a reasonable fashion, can you secure your family and your premises, your home, so that you guys could be there and ride out the storm? Community. Who do I know? Who are my neighbors? Do I know them? Do I know what they offer? Do they know what I offer? Can we powwow with each other and in an emergency be a resource for one another, or are we going to be raiding each other's house and killing each other for kibbles and bits? And then lastly, evacuation. How would you leave if the power grid is down? There's chaos in the street. You got a horse. You know what I'm saying? You got a scooter. You know what I'm saying? That gas powered scooter, or some sort of ready scooter that's ready with enough power to get you and your family at least to a position of safety. Wow, it's a lot to consider. So there's a video, right? And I wanted to show this video, and I think this video is going to say a lot, right? So we talked about the 7 pillars of preparedness. Oh, let me not skip it. So there's also, if you're considering what I'm saying and you think that's a priority and that might be something important because these goombas, these bozos that are in charge are mucking up the works, right? And we may have, I don't want it to happen, but because I'm not sure, regime change or monetary change, or they just want something slick, some timey thing to happen so that they can affect martial law on the country or whatever, right? Do you know your area's resources? One way to do it is go on to FEMA.gov and you can look up the 18 hazards based on your zip code. So you can go to FEMA.gov, right? And you can put your zip code in and you can find out what are the things that would be the most hazardous to your area that would affect your home lifestyle in a case of an emergency, or it would affect your mobility in case of a really bad emergency. So we got, uh, like I said, if you live below the 32nd parallel, you got winter wars to worry about. And if you live below the 32nd parallel, you got summer heat to worry about. And in case of a nuclear fallout, those two zones would probably interact in that very same way, but just in an extreme circumstance. So you got heat waves, earthquakes, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, wildfires, and winter storms. And then if something, dystopian were to pop off, you need to know, how am I going to deal with these things? What area or what disaster type of a thing is going to pop off in my area? Okay, so let's do that too. Um, I'll take a moment because a brother of mine just put something on the screen, and I want to make sure that I am, giving that a little bit of love right there. So this Saturday, if you're in Rochester, New York, I want you to, if you're within the sound of my voice, I want you to check out the Black Power Marketplace this Saturday, 12 to 4. Peace, brother. How you doing? And I want you to go patronize like crazy, mob their event, and make sure that you tell them that the Real HD show sent you, and get all sorts of goodies, get all sorts of practical things that you might need as melanated people to express yourself, and also just to support original people, melanated companies that are like in a gig format, so that they can be bigger, better, and more developed. So please do that, do that, do that, do that. Be true to that. Go support the Black Empowerment Marketplace. I believe it's on Thurston Ave at the library there. Peace, Godspeed. What's going on, bro?
Peace, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. We having this show, man. Last week wasn't so successful. We had the digital gremlin. So this week we
Mm-hmm.
back and better than ever. And
All
we
right.
are mashing up, smashing up all our segments. AAT report, Lit City report, Stolen Legacy moment. And to do that, it's something big on my mind. So we talking about readiness and preparedness in case of atrocities and unforeseen circumstances happening in the macro environment, man. So we talked
Mm.
about these. We talked about these three things here, these eight things here, rather, and we're talking
Mm.
about how they would affect. What score would you give yourself, your family, your domicile? How ready are you in case of a macro emergency with these things here?
Oh, okay.
So we got water, food, energy, medicine, security, community, and evacuation. And as melanated people, I'll just say it, as black people, so-called black people in America, we do not put this through the paces enough.
No, we don't.
What say you,
Generally
bro?
speaking, I have a,
What
I
say?
have a little bit. I have a little bit of what's on there, though.
Okay, talk to
Yeah,
me.
it's not to the maximum like I would have it, but I do
Yes, sir.
have. Yeah, I do have that boogie bag and whatnot.
You got a bug out bag. Yes, sir.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
I want it.
Okay.
I mean, it needs to be upgraded, but to have it
Mm-hmm.
is at least we have one. You
Yes.
know.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, but definitely needs some upgrading though. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But it's there. You know, it was brought to my attention. I was like, okay, all right, sis, I see where you're going with this. All right, I like that.
Yeah.
So we got it to the side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
And it has to
yeah,
be, and it has to be upgraded because some of the stuff in there may not be as fresh as it used to be,
yeah,
or you may found because of the advances in the technology.
hmm,
You know what I'm saying? It
yep,
might be bigger and better things. Like one of the things I like that is so hold on, let me just show everybody what a bug out bag is
hmm,
so they can know what that is. So a bug out bag is, can you survive for 24 hours with the things that are in this bag, and hopefully you and your family could do so as well. Um, and the elements of this will help you. We had a real bad windstorm in Rochester and knocked out all the power. So fridge was
mm,
out, heat was out, power was snapping because the tree branches and cut the power lines. It
wow,
was a wild thing. People was dealing with fire, with cold. It was in the middle of the winter. So this is a bug out bag here. As soon as I can get it up. Okay. Let me put that up real big. And then I'll share my screen. Okay. So I got it up, ready to share my screen. And this is your bug out bag right here. Let me know if you can see that.
no, not yet.
Can't see that
But
yet?
oh, there you go, there you go. Yeah, it came up now.
Okay. So I don't see it on the screen here, but I guess it's, yeah, there we
Yeah,
go.
we
Okay,
could
cool.
see it.
No, no, no. I got it. I want the audience to be able to see it too. So please, anybody at home that has that's feeling me. That's on my wavelength. That's on my frequency right now. That's on my type of time because of the incidents of the last 25 years and the macro government and powers that be, the authorities or what have you want to call them, their piss poor response to a lot of these things. How what are your levels of readiness and preparedness? So this is your bug out bag, right? And in the bug out bag, we have you got yourself a crowbar, you got yourself a canteen. I believe that's a flare gun or a regular gun. Um, what caliber pistol do you think that is? Godspeed. You see that? You see that? You see that pistol there?
You
I'll
know
make it
what?
bigger. I'll make
Because
it bigger. Hold on.
yeah, and it's
What
not
you
your
think?
fault. It's
No,
because
no,
I'm
no.
using this phone.
I should
Oh
have
yeah,
made.
yeah, yeah. I see it.
I should have cropped a picture of this bug out bag, but that looks
Yeah,
like
I
kind of
see
like
it.
that looks like a
Like a
32 almost,
yeah. I was
maybe
thinking 22. Hmm.
22. It
Yeah,
looks
I was
short.
thinking. Yeah,
It got some shortness to it, right?
yeah. I was thinking of
So then
22.
you have your, of course, your canteen kit. You have
Hmm.
some, your Cliff Bars. You got food. You have
Right.
your light. You have your tweezers. You have your full, your basically your switchblade. Hopefully,
Hmm.
it has like some serrated edges on it, so
Right.
you can do your thing. What technology do you think would be paramount that we could kind of update a bug out bag with? Because this looks kind of old. So I'm glad I picked
Hmm.
this one. I didn't do it on purpose, but
Right. I mean, shoot. Yeah. Hold on. I'm trying to widen my screen again. It's not your fault.
uh,
It's me.
no,
Because
it's okay.
I'm always working out of my phone, and sometimes I get the screen to widen, and then sometimes it don't.
So
But I
until you're
mean,
ready,
looking
go
like
ahead.
even though this appears to be like an old bag, but you know what? It looked like it got all the necessities you sort of need. To be honest with you,
Right. I mean,
man.
some of it could be updated. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Um, like I don't see jumper cables in there, so
Right.
you might want something like that. Have you heard of that flashlight that flashlight that can burn like like fire?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It
I
has like
have.
a concentrated fire joint where you could turn it up real high and it'll
Yep.
give you like a fire laser type of
Yeah,
aesthetic to it.
almost like a daggone lightsaber.
Right. So I
Yes.
think that would be you charge that puppy up or keep it
Mm-hmm.
charged, and
Mm-hmm.
then that would be not only fruitful for seeing and making your way around the wilderness, but also for protection.
Right.
You could blind a joker with that. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
It's just about right.
Uh, I also like bear repellent.
Yes, I'm pro that.
Yeah, yeah, because that
I'm pro
means
that.
the people in your family that can't defend themselves
Yep.
martially or
Mm-hmm.
pugilistically,
Mm-hmm.
they could throw that bug spray, they could throw that bear spray on them, and
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean. They can
Oh yeah.
they can get on their horse and get out of that situation. You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh yeah. No, bear spray is definitely something a person should have.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like I was trying to get my chosen daughter to carry one of those casually, but the problem is that those cans are like a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah,
They don't come small, so it's not like you could just kind of pack that
they
in
have the
your.
pocket size. What's the other one? It's not fox spray. I got it for my daughter when she left for college.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's like mace. It's like mace.
Mm.
Yeah, and you get it from and now up here, surprisingly, you got to go to the freaking the police auxiliary stores, and they take all your information and your blood type and your mama's blood type and all your credit card information and all your vitals
Right.
just to get some damn mace. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right. I'm telling you, man.
They want to know every move you make.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
Al-
man.
Although
So back to this
you could
real
get
quick
pepper
before.
spray like
Mhm.
inside of like gas stations. Sometimes they sell them for like $14.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you look and see, that would be a good thing to know too. Like, what are the what's the lay of the land where you live, and where can you get certain resources like that? You know what I mean? Yes, sir. So what score would you give yourself as far as your readiness from 1 to 10 with these things?
Right. I would say like I got medical. Could
Mm-hmm.
always upgrade that, but I got energy, pretty all right. Food, yeah, I probably need to look in there, need to upgrade, actually put something in there concerning that. Water, always got that. Um, need to get a good map, that's for sure. The rest is like things I carry on myself every day.
Right. And then of course evacuation, and
Hmm.
of course a way to manufacture water
Yeah,
outside of.
I need to
Yeah,
upgrade that. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
In other words, need to get the new tech with the canister that you could pour dirty water into and it would get purified. Need
Yeah, yeah. They
yeah.
have okay, so one other good thing, there's like iodine drops, right? So you can take iodine drops
Hmm.
and you can drop about maybe 8 or 10 of them in
Okay.
regular water, and it'll clear, I think, about a gallon of water at a time.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah. So they were, another tip that I had gotten from a video that I'm about to show in a minute is you can go to certain places. Let's say if you're in your house and you're stuck inside type of deal, like COVID. But imagine if COVID got real bad and the grid shut down and everything shut down, right? Um your your water heater, source of water.
Hmm. You're right.
You just turn that thing and that water comes gushing out.
Yeah.
And then you could use a little bit of iodine or whatever and clean the water. Or, if you
Hmm.
make a fire,
Arm
you
and
can.
Hammer, iodine. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. You clean your water, and now you got clean drinking water, and that's a good
Hmm.
40. That's a good 40 plus gallons of drinking water right there. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Then they were like, well, go and run your bathtub, run your sink, put as many things in as many things as you can. But let's check
Yeah.
out this video real quick, the mashup smash up of this whole piece. And it's about, I'm gonna stop it like every couple of minutes, and then we can chop it up
Hmm.
about it. But I think it's worth talking about because our folks are always the last to kind of be prepared or to respond in an emergency situation. You know what I mean? And some of it's our fault and some of it isn't. But if we could be more prepared, then we won't get caught up in the rapture of some goofy government enterprise. You know what I'm saying? So let me put this on real quick and we could talk about it on the other side. Okay, so here we go. How to turn your home into a survival fort. In this particular one, they're going to talk about food, water, and gas. Food, water, and power, really. Uh, so let's get into that real quick on the show, Real AC Show. Check it out.
Let's start with the one that keeps you alive longest and kills you fastest when it's gone. Point 1. Water. The average American uses about 80 to 100 gallons a day. Showers, toilets, dishwashers, lawn sprinklers. In a grid-down scenario, you need 1 gallon per person per day just to stay alive. That's the FEMA minimum. 1 gallon for drinking, cooking, and basic hygiene. A family of 4 needs 4 gallons a day, 120 gallons a month. Where does yours come from? Here's what most people don't realize. You already have 40 to 60 gallons of clean water sitting in your house right now, your hot water tank. Turn off the main supply, open the drain valve at the bottom, and you've got a month of drinking water for 1 person without buying a single thing. That's not a prep tip, that's plumbing. But it doesn't stop there. When you hear a storm warning before the power goes, fill every bathtub, every sink, every pot, every bucket. A standard bathtub holds 36 gallons. 2 bathtubs and your hot water tank give you over 100 gallons. Then there's the water sitting in your pipes right now. Turn off the main valve, then open the lowest faucet in the house. Gravity drains the system. Another 5 to 10 gallons, free. And your toilet tanks, not the bowl, the tank on the back, hold about 1.5 gallons each of clean water. No chemicals, no blue stuff in the tank. That's drinking water. 4 sources, $0, already in your home. Now here's the question that scores your zip code. What happens when those run out? Pull up the USGS water table data for your area. It's free. It's online. Is your water table shallow enough for a hand-dug well? Do you have rain? NOAA publishes precipitation normals by zip code. 40 inches a year means you can collect rainwater. 15 inches means you're in trouble. Are there creeks, rivers, ponds, springs within walking distance? I'm not talking about driving. I'm talking about a 5-gallon bucket and your own 2 feet. And do you know the legality of rainwater collection in your state? Because right now, in Nevada, it is illegal to collect rainwater unless you have a water right permit. In Utah, you're capped at 2,500 gallons without registering with the state. These aren't old laws, they're current. Check your state before you set up a single barrel. The answer might surprise you. Score yourself honestly. If your water plan is the faucet works, that's a 0. If you know your hot water tank capacity, your nearest natural water source, and how to filter creek water with a $30 Sawyer filter, that's a 7 out of 10. Write the number down. We'll add them up at the end. Point 2. Food. Not what's in your pantry right now. What can your zip code produce? Because canned goods run out.
All right, I wanted to talk a little bit about the water piece. Anybody have a comment about the water piece? Godspeed, anybody?
Well, the thing with Nevada, that was a very interesting thing that they pointed out. With the whole law, you know, kind of blocking you from collecting rainwater if you don't have a special clearance to do so.
Yeah.
That's interesting, especially in a place like Nevada. Are you kidding me? It's the driest, that's the driest state.
Right, right.
You know, that's crazy that they would do that.
Comment.
What we got?
Simba's on. What up, Simba?
Yeah, what up?
Yeah, man, we getting deep tonight. We talking about preparedness, just in case. We got wars popping off all over the world.
Yeah,
we got threats of wars. We got freaking COVID. We got all kinds of crap. ISIS in the airports. We got to be prepared, man. We got to make sure our families prepared, ourselves are prepared. So this is kind of why we kicking the can with this tonight. What would you score yourself on your preparedness chart? Are you ready for something like that? Are you not ready if something like that popped off? The last 30 years have not proven us to be ready for those type of things. How ready are you? Speaking of water, Godspeed, Most Def's prediction, man. He's looking righter and righter all the time, man. That brother was prophetic on that one, huh?
New World Water when the tides get high.
Oh my gosh! Now you got permission to accumulate rainwater. What the hell?
Word. I'm saying, and you know what? Now look at this, right? They like to talk about third world and third world and third world country, and who's a third world island, who's a shithole country, right? Let me tell you something. In Trinidad, you're allowed to collect water. They have the big like well, pretty much you got like water canisters,
right,
made out of plastic, like heavy duty plastic, you know, and that collects rainwater. So when the water shuts off every now and again over there, they have ample supply for more than a week, way more than a week, probably a couple of months, right? And, you know, and I'm like, but you want to call that a third world place? But here it is, big time United States, and Nevada don't even allow you to collect rainwater.
That's wild, man.
You can't even collect in a little barrel or a bucket unless you have the proper licensure or whatever. Because I'm going to look back on the footage and see what the guy said, because I can't remember if it was a license or whatever, but you have to have permission basically to collect rainwater.
Yeah, so it says here, it says existing water rights. Many states follow the legal doctrine of prior appropriation, where water that falls on your property is technically already allocated to someone else who holds the rights, such as farmers and municipal water systems. What the hell?
Yo.
Disrupting natural flow. Rainwater collection can prevent water from returning to the water table or following public streams and rivers. And also, safety and sanitary concerns. Some local jurisdictions prohibit it, citing health risks such as mosquitoes breeding in standing water. Standing state
Whoop-de-doo.
rights. So Colorado has issues with that. Utah, Nevada, and other states may have restrictions on volume, require approval by building codes like California, Arizona, and Washington. So I guess those are the states that deal with droughts, water
Mm,
droughts. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was powerful, man. Hold on. Got another. Okay. So what are you saying? The water video. This is Simba again. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get it up. The water video you showed everyone, a lot of people do that low key, and it's really smart. People usually do that in the countryside areas. Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Big facts.
yeah. But this thing, this appropriated rights thing,
Yeah, that's
yo, man.
insane.
When things like that exist, we are not hardly doing enough to shake the table with government, man. That should
Yeah,
not exist.
that should not
That should
exist,
not
bro.
exist at all.
Somebody gonna black boot stomp your door down because they know you collected water, rainwater.
That's wild. That's
You have
wild
got
and
to be
bad.
kidding me. You have got to be kidding me.
Like where I'm at, up where I'm at, we get water. We get a lot of rain and snow from the lake effect from Ontario, from the Ontario Lake, right? So if I wanted to be a preparedness cat, like you have some cats that are really like hard body with the shelter preparedness piece, right? And let's say that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to have like 4 or 5 40-gallon barrels of water in my cellar or my garage just in case, right? You gonna arrest me for that
Yeah, that's insane.
or fine me for that?
Right.
How would you even know?
Yeah, how would you know?
How would you even know? Number one, and number two, how is that even right and exact when it comes out the sky? Like
Exactly. When it
I don't
comes out
know.
the sky, but they do say that there are some people that own airspace.
Mm. So that's the tokenized economy, right? Like BlackRock and Blackstone, they want to tokenize water. They want to tokenize rocks. They want
Yeah.
to tokenize air. They want
Yeah.
to tokenize all of the natural resources so that you have to pay for it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Tough. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen again, and I guess we could check out one more portion of the vid. Let's see.
Freeze-dried meals run out. The only food that doesn't run out is the food that grows. Look up your USDA plant hardiness zone.
Got a commercial. Good old YouTube. Gotta love them.
Oh yeah, YouTube is like overbearing with those commercials, man. It's almost like the commercials are rude.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, here we go.
Searchable by zip code. This tells you exactly how many frost-free days you get per year. Below 120 frost-free days, you're limited to fast crops, radishes, lettuce, spinach. Not enough calories to survive on. Above 180 frost-free days, you can grow the survival king sweet potatoes. 1 acre of sweet potatoes produces 5 to 8 million calories. That's enough to feed one person for 5 to 8 years. No fertilizer, no irrigation system, no modern equipment. Just dirt and sun. But here's the trap nobody warns you about. Most people's first instinct is to plant a garden full of tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, and lettuce. Beautiful, colorful, and calorically worthless. A head of iceberg lettuce has about 75 calories. You would need to eat 27 heads of lettuce a day to hit 2,000 calories. You'd need a salad the size of a pickup truck every single day. That's not food, that's water with a crunch. Survival gardening is about calories, not color. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, beans, corn, winter squash. These are the crops that actually keep a body running. The Haudenosaunee, the people you know as the Iroquois, figured this out over 700 years ago. Corn, beans, and squash planted together. They called them the Three Sisters. The corn gives structure. The beans fix nitrogen in the soil and climb the corn. The squash covers the ground and holds moisture. 3 crops, 1 plot, complete nutrition. 7 centuries of field testing.
All right. So we're back. The Haudenosaunee showed them jokers that came over here, to Plymouth Rock and Virginia how to feed themselves.
Yeah, for real.
You know?
I'm looking at the little wolf, the fox, or the little fox, know-it-all fox, and he's like, yeah, lettuce is just like water with a crunch. I'm like, yeah, but when you can't make that toilet, trust me, that water with a crunch helps a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I mean, there's, that's the time we living in, man. All kind of misinformation, disinformation, unaggregated information, and then you got to sift through it and have it make sense for yourself. You know what I mean?
Word.
Yeah, man. So I just
And you
want to
see,
show
and you see, some of us are trained enough to and disciplined enough to know that, hey, look, if the push come to shove, we can eat once a day.
Yes.
Push come to shove.
Yes. But I like what they were showing about like the roof gardening and the unorthodox way that you can farm. So I thought those things were really dope, were really like worth checking out.
Definitely worth checking out. That's definitely worth it.
Yeah, you could farm in a closet, so you could also, as long as you got like a heating source above what you're planting, you could farm out of a closet.
Yep.
Damn, I wish my man Sincere was in here. He would tell you like 200 ways to farm. That's our our agrarian scientists on the show. So Sincere, man, if you can get back on the show, my good brother, come on through. That's home. This is home as long as you're ready to come through. All right, man. So the last thing I want to talk about is, anytime you're talking about conservation and anytime you're talking about, being prepared, you have to be physically prepared to protect what's yours so that you can live another day, grow another day, eat, love, live another day. I guess I'll ask you too, Simba, if you're still watching. What Godspeed, Simba, what are some of the ways that you guys would be prepared to protect your casa?
Yeah, protect your real estate.
Family. What are some of the ways that you can do that? I mean, we talked about a couple earlier, but I want to know, like, do you have a system? Do you, how would you fortify? What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, look, just giving it a buck. The kitchen alone provides all you need, really, as far as home defense, outside of a guard you now. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, I'm not gonna put too much out there in the general public, but brother got a little background, you know what I'm saying?
Little click clack.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, you just, you know what it is too? I think, look, I exercise frequently. I'll share that. I do exercise frequently. So that keeps your twitch muscles active. Let's say that. So you got to do that. You got to make sure that more of your body weight is dedicated to strength and flexibility and quickness as possible. You know what I mean? But what overrides all of that, quite honestly, is the will and determination and the ability to toughen your mind at a drop of a dime.
I'm glad you brought that up. So let me put this out to everybody out there in the ethos. Y'all can answer it. Jump in on all the channels we got. Say how you feel. Keep it real. How many of us do you think we should be doing home preparedness drills like how some kids do, like the kids do fire drills at school? Because they say it's almost like when you train for martial arts. Your heart rate is up, you're sweating, you're really working into it, so that when you get to the tournament for martial arts, your practice is how you conduct yourself in a real fight. So if you're at home and you're practicing with your target heart rate up, so let's say after you bust out a workout, target heart rate is up. Now you do your home preparedness drills, then you'll be more ready to, embrace the moment if something were to really happen and your heart rate is already up. You know what I mean? Because most of us, you get the hand twitching and you get the sweating, and then you're not really sure what's going on. Your eyes narrow. All of the things happen at one time, and you still have to execute to protect your house, your home, your family, car, your possessions, what have you.
Yeah.
So should we be running home preparedness drills like with our target heart rate up so we can survive what we would call, immediate emergency type of stress situations?
Right. Yep. These are things that should be discussed more often. And I mean, there are families out there that are ready. You
They
got
are.
people that are living on
They
the
are.
premises of, I don't have to get ready because I am ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I know some people.
yeah,
They
man.
got, they got the lock, stock, and barrel. So, yeah. But most don't. Most don't. You
No,
know,
most don't. Most don't,
most
bro.
don't.
Most
So
really don't. And
the last
again,
question I was asking
go ahead.
is about this, and we're going to shift to the main part of what we want to do tonight. Is because of our chaotic relationship with, them race soldiers, and how, they like to accost us and terrorize us and let the courts put a peace treaty on it, contract it, right? But you already hemmed up. They already busted down your door. They already, destroyed your property. They done already traumatized your family. You know what I mean? Should we be more prepared because of our relationship to those cats?
I would say, listen, like I said, man, humbly speaking, you know what I mean? And I'm a peaceful man that always, promote peace, you know what I mean? But with peace comes self-defense. I'm a staunch believer in self-defense. Staunch. You know what I mean? So with that said, man, it's like, look, be honest with you, like I said, I stay ready so I don't have to get ready. Now, I'm not saying that I'm Rambo, GI Bro, I'm none of these
No doubt.
things. I'm not Jim Kelly. I'm none of these things, right? But what I'm saying is that to the best of my ability and my level of consciousness, I'm prepared as I can be. I'm that every day.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I just think that
Even
we
when I'm
should
chilling
be.
or casual, even when I'm chilling in casual,
Yes, sir. Yeah,
But
I mean, I agree. Like
yeah.
I'm always on alert. I'm checking out my surroundings. I'm looking at exit points.
Right.
This is
Right.
the shit I do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't tell nobody what I'm doing, but I'm
Right.
doing it.
Yeah. Of course. That's because you have a level of discipline. You know what I'm saying? I see myself with a level of discipline. I don't need to hear these jokers, talk crap about me to be motivated. You know what I mean? I'm not,
Mm.
I'm moving out of that
Mm.
whole mindset of being motivated. It's about being disciplined.
Yeah,
You
man.
know?
I mean, as much as you can be,
Yeah.
as much as you can be, I would like for us to, as a people, or at least as a closely knit community, depending on your zip code, have
Right.
like munitions. Remember, because way back in the day, they used to have munitions. They used to have
Yeah.
munitions like forts and munitions areas and munitions, warehouses.
Mm-hmm.
And the community used to go to those munition warehouses or those munition type organizations and
Right.
protect themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to get back to that, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially with ICE running around trying to curb stomp people and shooting people
Yeah.
in the back of the head and all type of wildness. Our level of preparedness got to go up 1,000%. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's the crazy part. You see, and that's a whole different level of preparedness right there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Honestly, my level of preparedness is like an everyday thing because I hate to say it. It's your own community that you got to look for. I mean, are they
Right.
really your community? The people that are
Mm.
neighboring near you are the ones you got to
Mm.
look out. You got to
How
keep
about
your
that?
third eye wide open.
How about that?
The dumb, deaf, and blind. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Are they really community? Yes, sir.
Savages in pursuit of happiness.
Woo. Uh-oh.
They might look like A alike, B alike, C alike, but they definitely don't G alike.
Yeah. That part. That part. That part. Yes, sir.
It's sad, man. It's sad, bro. You know?
Yeah, man. So I wanted to talk about something. I wanted to show something real quick. And it's before you got 3 minutes, so let me run to it real quick. And it's about the new gun control laws that are going on in Minnesota. And if you know anything about the way that state assemblies work and congressional people work within those, your elected officials within the state,
Mm-hmm.
if something goes on in a certain like metropolitan state, city
Mm-hmm.
state, and
Mm-hmm.
it's effective, other states try to adopt those practices and turn it into law or policy in their state. So here's something that's really interesting about a new gun bill, um, and it has to do with your privacy. Um, and I'm gonna play that really, really quick, provided I could get to it. Okay, let me go to history because I was just checking this out earlier. Let me go see what John. Let me open up my file. See what my timestamp is on this. Um, no, in 2 minutes. 2:37. Okay. So whenever that comes up, got that up, got that up. Okay, cool. So looks like the tech is cooperating with us tonight, Godspeed. So look like we're gonna be able to rock. Um, let me just get this back where it's supposed to be. Okay, here we go. All right. Let me go here really quick. Okay. So I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna take this one off the screen. That was just like a little bit of a screenshot to introduce it. And
Mm-hmm.
now we are going to go to the actual video. Sorry to walk y'all through this. I know y'all not babies, um, but just want to make sure y'all are following along. We got Rue in here. We about to bring Big Rue into the building in a hot second. Peace, brother. How you doing?
Everything is good, family. How are you?
Good, man. So let me
Peace.
play this real quick. It's about these gun laws that they're trying to enact in Minnesota. And then if this passes, a lot of states would like to mirror and mimic what these gun laws are going to invoke. And of course, we know New York is already dealing with some really foo-foo passages of gun laws that we just got throughout the
Oh
states.
yeah.
home on property you own or control or at a licensed firing range, whatever that is, because there is no such thing in Minnesota law.
So now let's run through the list. You cannot carry the magazine. You cannot take the firearm most places. You have to register it. You have to get permission. You have to let the government inspect your house. At what point do we stop pretending this is about safety? Because criminals are not doing any of this. Criminals are not registering firearms. Criminals are not asking police for certificates. Criminals are not inviting officers into their fucking house to inspect their safes. The only people this targets is you and...
All right, so there it is. I'm not going to be too long-winded with the vid. There it is. There it goes. Have y'all heard of
Get
this?
the gist.
That in Minnesota, they are trying to make the police come into your house to inspect your gun safe just to own a firearm. What do y'all think of that?
Wow.
You got to let them in your house.
Wow. That's interesting stuff, man. That's interesting stuff. And you know what? It's interesting that they're starting that in Minnesota, of all places.
Exactly. That's why I wanted to talk about it, because that's been the epicenter of a lot of fire over the last couple of years. You know,
that's to tell you how hot the temperature got.
Mm-hmm.
No, really, the temperature got hot down there. Because of those incidents. Because of those incidents.
They don't even care about their white folk out there. They fire off. Fire away on the white folk in Minnesota.
The temperature got hot, man. The temperature got hot. You see, not everybody gonna be able to do capoeira.
Yeah, man. Hey,
you get my drift, man. I'm just saying, you know, like not everybody is about that type of life right there. You know, they're not on that capoeira time. You know, the mind, body, and spirit.
Sorry, y'all. I'm here trying to get on this parkway, and you know, out here it's a very selfish place. So I got this old fogey behind me, upset that he had to let me in to merge in, which is normal behavior. Yeah, out here, you know, out here dealing with talking about the guns. Out here, you know, gun laws is pretty loose as well. You know, so a lot of things go down. You know, somebody got murdered. Somebody murdered a child trying to murder the father of the child the other day, which was crazy.
Is that a stay in your ground state?
Actually, I was asking around, and I believe if it's not stand your ground, it's something very similar. But it seems that because he ended up, because what it is here is exactly what just happened to me. I'm trying to get in. Those who are already in don't want to let me in. So the dude got upset, and because he had his son in the car. So I guess he was taking the son to school. That's what it was. He was taking the son to school, and the other dude who was already on the parkway had road rage, didn't want to let him in. So they started having words back and forth, arguing, and then they decided to pull over to shoot a fair one. And the dude jumps out, walks over to his car before the father could get out of his car, and tries to shoot him, and the father takes off because he saw the gun. The bullet they aimed for him ends up hitting his son in the head, killing his son. And now it's a case out here because they're trying to, you know, the dude who actually killed the kid, he gonna have to do some type of time, you know. He gonna have to do some type of time for that. What I gotta say about the whole gun laws thing, I saw this coming a while ago, and I think they're trying to arm all citizens or give all citizens the right to be armed. So now, instead of committing genocide, they'll be committing a self-genocide. I don't know what to call it, but you know, people are already agitated. They're going to continue to agitate people. So then, and separate them and make them look at each other as being different. It's just my opinion. So now, people are going to be segregated amongst, you know, the nationalities that exist in America, and the littlest thing is going to set them off, and they're just going to be able to shoot each other. Because everybody's armed,
Mm-hmm.
and the population comes down, so inflation comes down. American property is going to go up. The money will be valued again, right? Higher value, less money in print, right? So when they transfer over to whatever currency, they'll be back in the ballpark. Plus, the rating of the oil is for them to gain a natural resource up underneath their dollars to increase
Yes.
value.
Yeah, they don't want to
So
lose the oil dollar. Correct.
right, so they're already attacking the resource. They got to attack the general public, but they can't commit genocide like how they've done in the past, because it's going to create a bigger uproar than already has. Because as you can see, more nationalities now are talking in favor of Black Americans being dealt wrong with, and Black
Mm.
Americans are finally waking up to realize that they've always been here. Yes, some of you are West Africans that migrated here. That was natural. That been happening. But a lot of you are indigenous to this hemisphere. They're finally beginning to get it. So now that information is even being leaked. So,
Mm-hmm.
the powers that be, which is the royal family, what I call the royal family, all our presidents, they know this, and the Jews that they're in cahoots with, right? The mob, right? They
Talk about it.
they know this. Yeah,
Let's
they
talk
they
about
all
it.
know this. So the thing is, we've been empowered in many different ways. This is why they also want to control AI, because it's not the Jews that's getting wealthy off the AI, and it's not the wealthy family, the royal family that's getting. It's us. It's the natural born citizens. So the natural born citizens are becoming millionaires now, you know, and pushing their ways towards billions, and that's not good for their for the American market through their eyes. They
So let me
can't
add
have
on
too
real
many
quick.
of us. Yeah.
Hey, bro, let me add
Add
on
on.
real quick because you brought
Yep.
up AI, right?
Yep.
So me and wifey was building the other day, and we were talking about AI, and I was like, AI has some limitations in it, especially because it can't impact the physical world. So what's
Right.
happening is, I mean, robotics can only do what robotics can do,
Right.
and it's
What
very
they're programmed to
expensive
do.
to
True.
usher in all of the components of the physical world to match what AI can provide. So what they're doing is all these people, brother Luck, that they fired from these jobs, claiming automation and claiming AI superiority, they're hiring them back at like a fourth, a third of what they were originally working for. Ain't that something?
Mm-hmm.
That's the game plan. That's the
Ain't that
game plan.
something? So you know how
Mm-hmm.
they
Yeah.
had the Great Reset, and they were all upset about people walking off the job and people claiming that labor practices were not good, and I have to take the juicy juice during COVID, and it's not fair.
Right.
So we out. We ain't doing the work no more. And then they say, well, if y'all gonna do that, then we're gonna eliminate hundreds of thousands of people jobs and claim AI. And
Mm-hmm.
now that they
And
can't match the physicality that's necessary, they want to bring people back to the job for a third of what they were working
yep.
for before.
Yep. And
What
and
a
you see
what a
that's
bamboozle.
Mm-hmm.
but you see that was already in the play from years ago,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what we're going to now is what the removing of the unions was about. When they started removing the unions was to usher in AI at this point.
Mm-hmm.
The way they're doing it. You see what I'm saying? Everything is systematic. Nothing is by some fluke, or we didn't calculate this. No, everything is calculated. We already know.
Mm-hmm.
Corporations have to calculate for years ahead, and depending on how large a corporation is, will determine. And Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, if we don't do what we're supposed to do, then the next 100 years we'll suffer for it. So we already know
Mm.
America calculates by 100 years.
Mm.
As a corporation, they calculate every 100 years.
Yes, sir.
So it just makes sense. Smaller corporations do it for 50. Smaller ones do it for 25. Some only able to do it for 5. Mom and pop stores do it for every 5 to 10 years. They try to estimate where they would be. So we already know America, largest corporation, is doing it by 100 years. So they already knew that they was doing all of this, but they was trying to figure out how to roll it out. They had to get rid of the unions so the people lose power. Just like social media. Social media is utilized in order to remove um, your privacy laws. This is
Mm-hmm.
why now they can
Mm-hmm.
implement it in the gun laws, talking about, hey, we got to come in your house.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see, because they got us to willingly, to willingly say, hey, I'm giving you the right, to I'm giving you the right to be able to look into my personal accounts on social media, and people have been giving away their privacy rights ever since. So now you're groomed. You ain't gonna really, me and you gonna see something with that, but the mass majority of the deaf, dumb, and blind, they're not gonna see nothing wrong with that. They're gonna be like, oh well, this is just how the system is now. We got to do this, and they're gonna do it. You
Mm.
see, it's all systematic. One block builds on the other block. Nothing is operating onto itself.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Um,
So mhm.
no, I wanted to talk about the law. There's a law that goes along with what you just said when they take what was supposed to be a right and turn it to a privilege. Remember we was building on
Right.
that Godspeed?
Yep.
Yeah, they can't. It's against the law to take a right and turn it into a taxable privilege. So they're not even following their own laws.
No.
Yeah, yeah. It's not
No.
Marbury
Yeah.
versus Madison. It's I'll have it in a minute for you. But the point is,
Hmm.
you can't turn a constitutional right, which was Second Amendment gun laws, and then turn it into a taxable privilege. So now, when
Right.
you're registering your firearm, when they're charging you to do that, and they're putting all sorts of restrictions on your ability to have a firearm, that goes against that court precedent right then and there.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good point that you raised.
That should be non-cipher, but we're not handling it the right way. We're not lighting a fire under these elected officials and the people that could really go in these places and do some damage with that sort of a claim. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, man. Um, let me see if I can find that court case where they can't. Okay, let me see.
And you know what? Some of us who's into law, some of us that's into law, need to dedicate time to accumulate all the case laws that can support
Yes.
us as a people in these courts.
So the name of it is Murdoch versus Pennsylvania.
Mm.
Yeah, it's illegal to take a uh, constitutional right and then tax it and make it turn it into a privilege. So that's exactly what they've
Mm.
done, state to state. Because if you notice, state to state, gun laws are the big thing on the docket right now, state to state. You know what I mean? California's going
Yeah.
through gun laws. Georgia, New York, Minnesota, Chicago. Of course, Chicago is always in the crosshairs of gun laws. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And then, of course, that's always because the antecedent to gun laws was the Stonewall Rebellion and the Bacon Rebellion. So they
Yeah, I've
gave,
heard of those.
Yeah.
plantationers, they gave the planters the opportunity to arm themselves, so just in case the maroon population did an uprising. And when I mean maroon, I mean on all soils, not just the Caribbean.
Yeah.
If we uprise for liberty, they have the right to arm themselves in militia in response. And now that
Mm.
that has, and then of course in 2022, there was an uptick, Brother Ruben, about gun ownership, from melanated people in the United States by like 60%.
See?
Mm.
Isn't that interesting?
Yep.
A rise in gun ownership for melanated people in this country by 60%. So
Wow.
now, a couple years later, what's on the table? All these gun laws. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Right.
Because you see, that's what I'm saying. They had opened the floodgate on it with this stand your ground crap to get everybody to buy guns. Then they did the pandemic, right? Because we already know that was planned. Obama told you it was coming. He told you
Mm-hmm.
prepare yourself for the pandemic. So we
Mm-hmm.
knew that was coming.
Mm-hmm.
So they unleashed the pandemic. So now you panic, and what you do? You go and buy guns. You see? And you know, it's crazy because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I don't mean to keep bringing him up,
Oh, keep
but
bringing him up. Nobody else does. I mean, he's not
yeah, nobody
mainstream. He's
else
not a
does.
mainstream hero, so why not? Right?
Yeah, he
He-
foresaw this, and people are like, no, he did. He foresaw this. So one of the laws in the nation is actually there's a law against owning arms in the nation. We have rules and regulations for you owning firearms. So that is the devil's instrument. That is one of the
Mm-hmm.
many devil instruments that Honorable Elijah Muhammad spoke out against. And
Yeah.
technically, you're only allowed, you as a member of the Nation Islam, is only allowed to have a firearm in your home when it's part of your work detail. If it's not part of your work detail, you're not allowed. And when they come monthly to check on how you're doing, everybody does the checkups. If they find firearms in your house, bro, you're out the nation. You're kicked out. You can't even come back. There is no petitioning because people get kicked out depending on what it is. You could do a petition, which Farrakhan did for Wallenstein Muhammad. You could do a petition and get somebody brought back in,
yeah, he should
even
have
if the
never did that
leader.
petition, but that's a
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
different
but
topic.
that's a whole different topic. But so with saying that, he always said that that is the weapon, that is the tool of the devil, and we should not utilize or depend on the tools of the devil because being that it's their creation, once we attach ourselves to their creations, they can manipulate everything around that situation, which is what we're seeing right now,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Second Amendment, right? People are acting on it. Now people are acting on it. Now they like, oh, good. We got them there. Okay, now let's throw these laws down. You know, it's just like I was showing somebody with the marijuana laws, right? They did this in time before, where it was right before war. What they did was they decriminalized marijuana. Everybody's getting high and loopy, and they're doing all these little changes. You could check the history for yourself. And then what did they do? Everybody who invested in marijuana lost all their money that they invested in when they invested in the marijuana. Because what happened? They came and turned over the law and criminalized it again. This is why they'll never legalize it. Because once you legalize it, you can't remove it and criminalize it. But if you decriminalize it, you can always turn it back. You see?
So I know
Yeah.
during for certain, I know in the colonies they were farming marijuana during the colonistic period. For sure,
Yes.
they were farming marijuana and they were offering on Tobacco Road. They would along with cotton and other exports. They would also export marijuana from the colonies.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And when they criminalized it, I forget what state it was. It could be Idaho. I forget what state it was, but only one state held to the decriminalization of the marijuana. But all the other states that was involved, they all made it criminal again. You see,
Mm-hmm.
all those people that had invested lost their money. All that money
Yeah.
got absorbed. So, right now, what we're seeing is America is finding different ways to attack its citizens' pockets to extract the money back out of them
Well, since we're
while
talking,
empowering the money.
well, since we're talking about marijuana, right, and the uptick of the culture around marijuana, right,
Yeah.
investing in it, making it an IPO,
Yep.
using it in different medicinal ways, that I'm very much for.
Yep.
You also got to see the fox in the hen house, right? So what they'll do is and this happened right here in Rochester, they'll take some startups, right?
Yeah.
And if there's original people, melanated people that are involved in the startup, these angel investors will give them some money, and under that auspice, they will be business classed or status classed or tax classed as a minority business, and then they can get all kind of set asides on their taxes, the proceeds of the marijuana business, and
That's
all of
true.
that, brother. Luck, did you were you hip to that, bro?
I know of it because I know of a dude in Long Island who's opening the two largest dispensaries that's going to be in Manhattan presently. And
Mm,
yeah, he's Latino. And me and him was talking about that because he doesn't like the angel investors because it's all Europeans and all they're doing is finding people with records that had marijuana convictions. And they're saying, hey, team up with me and be a partner and I'll fund you.
mm-hmm,
But you
mm-hmm.
got to be the face because we need the licensing. We got the money, but we can't get the licensing. So,
So do y'all know,
mhm.
hey brother, look, do y'all know that Jay-Z did that very same thing with the deal with the Barclay people too?
No, I have no knowledge on it.
Yeah, yeah, he did the very same thing when he was the face of the Nets and he had
Yeah.
minority ownership of the Nets. Being involved with the Barclays group gave the and having certain economic restrictions and not restrictions but classifications on the deal. It was like a honey pot for that development deal, and all Jay Z had to do was be the Brooklyn resident face of it,
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
You
and
know, it's wild.
it gave the Barclays like minority status, and they could
Yes.
develop, and they had a sweetheart deal, moving to Barclays and gentrifying that part of Brooklyn.
Yes. Yes. And you know what's kind of wild? This has taken place in many different ways. Like
Mm-hmm.
even in the music industry, when they will they would put what was it? It was either they'll put black faces on records, but it was white bands,
Mm-hmm.
or it was something like that they used to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, another situation like that would be what was the other one that I saw that was definitely I was like, wow, this is what they do. Um, it's skipping me right now, but there's another situation where they utilize us. I mean, whole music industry. Think about it. The Jews own the music industry. None of them are talented. Like none of them. Where is their cultural music? Let's even talk about the white Jews. We're not talking about the black Jews, the Hebrew Israelites, and all that. The white Jewish population. What? Where is their cultural music? What is the form of music that they created that we can say, oh, this is why they're running the music industry? Like they have none. They have no real talent.
No,
They just
there's
attach themselves.
there's a video out right now with a brother breaking down the Jewish mega family that runs the music industry. But I wanted to show y'all this real quick. I don't
Hmm.
D's
check
story
this
to
out.
make him the face of the Brooklyn Nets so white billionaire real estate developers could buy up historically black and working class neighborhoods and then jack up the prices. And it was all admitted in the Epstein files. In February 2014, a Jess Staley, a high level executive at Barclays Bank, and Barclays might sound a little familiar because it shares the name with the Barclays Center, the home of the Brooklyn Nets, emailed Jeffrey Epstein and he said, it's all about hip blacks in hip cars with white women. The people that should be in the streets have been bought off by Jay-Z. That's not a conspiracy. That's them actively talking about keeping working class communities docile by using faces that they're familiar with. So what is this billionaire banker referring to? Well, in 2004, billionaire real estate developer Bruce Ratner bought the New Jersey Nets, but not because he liked basketball. He bought them because he wanted to utilize eminent domain laws in New York City, specifically Brooklyn, so that he could not only get subsidized for his project to the tune of $800 million, but avoid $100 million in property tax per year. So Radner is trying to buy up large portions of historically Black and working class neighborhoods in Brooklyn for a real estate development project he called Atlantic Yards. Now he promises if the city gave him this like $1 billion in subsidies, then he would offer just over 2,000 units of affordable housing. Now, remember, these guys are absolute sickos. So 2,000 units of affordable housing roughly means 1,700 units of housing offered to families that make at least $150,000 a year, which I will tell you was dramatically different than the current demographics of Brooklyn and the areas where the Barclays Center was when Ratner bought the net. Anyone that would have seen what was going on would have come to these same conclusions. So how did he avoid the problem? He got Jay-Z to be the face of the project. Jay-Z started making songs about asking LeBron to come to New York and fueling this message that Jay-Z was the hometown hero from the Marcy projects that rose all the way up so that he could buy the Nets and bring Brooklyn a basketball team. But instead, he was just the tool to sell the entire neighborhood off to.
Yep.
Yeah, y'all could check that out. There's I usually bring receipts, but next time we come on the show, I'll bring the legal documents to show what how all of that was contrived. You know what I mean?
You know what movie kind of displayed something like that? Boomerang. Remember Boomerang? With
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy's Boomerang?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the part you talking about.
So the Catwoman, Eartha Kitt,
Halle
she
Berry?
was
Or Eartha Kitt. Yeah. Okay.
she
Yeah,
was the
she played
face,
Lady Eloise. Yeah.
Lady Eloise. So Lady Eloise didn't have no real ownership. She was just the face, if you remember. And then they was
Yes.
bringing in the
Yes.
new face, which was what? Strange.
Uh-huh.
Was supposed to be the new face. And they're selling women's product, but it was a male team of men basically behind the scenes, but it was using females' faces to sell the product. So it goes back to the kind of like the same deal, you know, where it's like,
Yeah. I
see
get
what
you
I'm
now.
saying?
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah, that's how I
The
mean,
fooleries in the
there are
advertisement.
some ladies involved with it too, but overall, the men in charge, the creative owners, was all the brothers
Yeah.
coming up with all of the advertising creativity. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And remember, people thought that she had power because she had the face. She was the face. And there's like, nah, she's just the face. She has no power. She was just the face.
Yeah, and Eddie Murphy had to find that out the hard way.
Yeah, exactly. That's my
Mm-hmm.
point. So Jay-Z is just a face. He
Right.
has no power. He was
Mm-hmm.
just the face. They paid him to be the face, the front man.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yeah.
a front man. They paid him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say about the marijuana stuff too. As long as you have a minority interest in the business
Yeah.
and it's in an impoverished area and you have a zip code there,
Yeah.
boom, you get the tax exemptions, you get all of the minority set asides, and you could be a white person, you
Yep.
could be a white billionaire, and you getting all these set asides and write offs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very real.
And
That's
you
what's
can skirt
happening.
all these type of laws. Well, yo, check this out, man. It's 9:30. We about to end the show right now because I want to do a part two of Melanin versus Ozempic, the relationship between blood, electricity, and regeneration, because it's powerful. And I want to give it the time that it needs to marinate, present it, and then let us, as a family, have a chat with it and give it its due justice. So we'll do part two next Wednesday on this very same topic because, it's got a lot of our people, our famous, infamous folks, twisting a cap over whether or not they should put their body through this stuff when they really don't need it. And if they knew that it actually robbed them of their melanin from a cellular level and from a genome level, then they would think 2 and 3 and 4 times about it. But I want to walk that dog in its proper way, give it the light that it really deserves. So join us next week when we talk about that. Part 2. I thought the preparedness piece was important because, we dealing in troubled times, and it's good for us to know where our water, food, energy, medical, security, community, and evacuation is locked and stocked. So that's just as important as anything else. So y'all join us next week when we get into that. I want to thank Brother Luck for joining me. I want to thank Brother Rue for joining me, and everybody at home, Simba for joining up, everybody watching, everybody on Kick, and everybody on Twitch for watching. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, and turn on all your comments so that every time we have a Real HD show, YouTube can join us and have a higher discussion. So I'm going to say peace, and y'all walk with power, man. Hey, ask for
Indeed.
Rule when y'all order y'all rides, man. So make that brother rich.
There it is.
All right.
Peace, y'all. Peace.
Peace.